I look in the mirror, I look in your eyes, what do I see? My vision is clearer, I'm seeing the better half of me. And if I
Matthew, busy day for you, my friend. You're traveling all over the place in Toronto. How does it feel being able to be here in Toronto and talking about your new single?
It is so nice. I would call Toronto my second home. I've spent a lot of time here, and it's really nice to be here when it's not a negative temperature. So I'm absolutely loving it. It's been great, and I'm just really excited to be pushing this song right now.
Yeah, you picked the best time. The weather has been amazing this week. I think we went up to +7 as we speak. Oh, that's a good thing. Maybe it may have even been higher, too. But the important thing is, my friend, you've got new music out right now. Kind of like consider it like almost like an early Christmas gift for everybody.
Oh, look at that. That's very sweet of you to say. Yeah, I guess I will word it that everyone has been good, and they've been extra good if they're listening to it. And yes, Stay By You is out now, and I'm just really excited about it.
Well, look, I want to talk about Stay By You in a second here, but I want to talk about your career too, because you have sort of like an interesting way of going things when it comes vocally too. Where did the love of music start for you? And again, originally, where are you from?
I was born and raised in Vancouver, Canada. I pretty much started singing my entire life from childhood, and I was singing all around the house. The first song I ever sang was "Man, I Feel Like a Woman" by Shania Twain, and I would sing it day in and day out at home. And then I started, my parents put me in vocal lessons, and I started training in opera from the age of 7. I did 10 years of that. And so, yeah, I've been singing a lot pretty much from the get-go.
What kind of training do you get to be an opera singer? Because I have to assume, is it different from, say, getting regular singing training?
Yeah, so I would argue that opera singing is similar to playing an instrument and doing a sport. It's very much like training a muscle. It's very strict. There's no freedom to, do whatever you want, which I would say in pop music I have more freedom to kind of get creative with it. But in opera, my job was to deliver what was on the page, and it was super strict, and it was also very physically taxing. It's kind of a full body exercise. There's lots happening with my diaphragm, with my core. So it was pretty intense training. But looking back on it now, doing pop music, I wouldn't trade that training for the world, especially me being on tour and all that good stuff. It taught me how to sing through a cold, how to sing healthy, how to warm up properly. So I'm super grateful that I have that training.
Just curious, growing up when you were learning opera, did you think you were doing that?
Pardon me? I just missed that.
No, that's okay. I was just saying, growing up, did you tell your friends that you were singing opera?
Oh, absolutely. I did. Most people knew what I was doing because I would sing at any Christmas concert or anything like that was happening at school. I think they were a bit shocked when they heard what was coming out of my mouth. But it was, I never shied away from it. And luckily people were supportive of what I did. And if they weren't, then I just didn't really put up with it.
Yeah, and you don't have to worry about it now, especially how things have changed too anyways. When did the switch happen for you? When did you start getting into the pop music, and what were you listening to also as, being influenced?
Absolutely. So it was a funny juxtaposition because I would be singing in opera, I would be singing in Italian and German and French, and then in the car ride home, I'd be listening to Celine Dion and Shania Twain and Britney Spears and all this pop music. And I knew that I always wanted to do big runs, and I wanted to have creative freedom to kind of do whatever I wanted. And so when I got older, I started realizing that if I wanted to, what was holding me back, I could make choices for myself. So I started imitating runs that, let's say, Mariah Carey would do. And I would break them down every day in the shower, and I would do them really, really slowly until I got faster at them, and then I'd move on to a different one. And I really discovered my love for pop music for myself as an artist. And then I started kind of teaching myself how to write music. And I went to the UK to go to music school. And I really found my own signature sound when I went over there.
In the writing process, though, what kind of stories did you want to tell through your music?
Oh, so for me, it was a really wonderful emotional outlet to start writing my own music. It was a place where I could, talk about things that I didn't necessarily want to talk about to, close family or friends, things that I was holding back I got to let out through song, and it was a bit of an easier release that way because I was so familiar with expressing myself through singing. So it was an easier pathway for me to get my feelings out. I treat songwriting for me lyrically as a way just to really talk about anything and everything that I'm going through. I see it a bit of like as a musical diary of a certain moment in my life. So I just try not to hold back anything and be as raw and as honest as possible, and that's kind of how I like to start.
How did this single come about?
Okay, so this single is a bit different for me because typically I have a bit of Adele fever in the sense that I write very sad love songs. And this was the first one where I took a bit of a different spin on it, and I saw it from an optimistic side. It was a bit of a love song and a bit of an olive branch for my partner. And as I'm getting older, it was a song that I wanted to express the fact that I'm an adult now and I need to, smarten up in my relationships and treat people the way that I want to be treated. And I took that from a really loving and optimistic standpoint. So I'm really excited about it. I think it was a new vibe and a new feeling for me. So I was really stoked on it.
Did that surprise you that you came up with this song? So it sounds like this kind of just came right, and it was just like it was to be.
Absolutely, it was a super fast session. It worked really fast. I had a chorus idea that I brought into the studio, and my producer for this song, Ryan Stewart, liked it. We developed it, and honestly, over the course of a few hours, it kind of flowed out. I think some of my favorite songs happen that fast. It feels natural. It kind of rides with both of our musical instincts, and it was a really fast and clean process, and it was really thrilling.
And I made my mistakes. I know you made them too, but I just wanted to say, I hope I can stay by you.
Are there more? I know I've seen and heard other singles too, but are there more singles going to be coming out, and will this follow up as an EP or album?
Absolutely. So we have a few EPs coming in the new year. We have, which will combine onto an album later in the year. There's lots of new music coming out. I have a duet coming out with a amazing Canadian act. I can't say too much more about that, but you heard it here first. There's going to be a collaboration with a super awesome Canadian act that I'm sure a lot of people will know. So I'm really excited to work towards that as well. There's lots and lots and lots of new music coming for sure.
Looking forward to that. With new music, does that mean any performances, tours, anything like that?
Yeah, so I'm halfway through tour right now across the country with Ria May. We've made it to Ontario, and we are going to do Ontario in this upcoming week, and then we head over to Quebec just in time for Christmas to kind of come around. But there'll definitely be more live shows as we enter into 2020, and I'm looking forward to playing a lot of the new music.
Just curious, how did you end up on this tour? Because in the last, I'd say, 7 years, her career has really exploded.
Absolutely. Ria has been so sweet and supportive of me and my career kind of since the beginning. I met her at the Junos 2 years ago, and I went up and said hi. I talked myself into it, and it turns out that she had known of my music already, and we kind of hit it off there. And on her last tour last year, she had some dates that canceled, so I filled in the rescheduled dates, and we had such a good time on that leg that she invited me to go across the entire country this time, and it's been super amazing, and I'm just really grateful that she asked me.
With the holiday coming up, what are your plans for the holidays?
Ooh, so my plans from the holiday are to catch up on much-needed sleep, spend some time with family, kick my feet up, and with going across the country right now with tour and with radio tour, it's been fairly busy. So I'm looking forward to just kind of taking 10 minutes and catching up on sleep, and it's going to be awesome to kind of rejuice for 2020 and kind of get my energy back.
So for us to see what you're up over the holidays and to know what's going to happen in 2020, social media is the place to go. Where do we go to follow?
Absolutely. You can follow Mathew V Music on Instagram, Twitter. Mathew only has one T in it because my parents forgot one. How dare they? But at Mathew V Music, I'm hyper engaging on there. So I'd love to say hi to anyone who wants to pop in there and say hi, please. So if you want to say hi, you can definitely say hi there. I'd love to have a chat.
Fantastic. My friend, thank you so much. Look, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, all the best to you and your family, and let's make sure we talk in 2020 when the EPs are all coming out.
Absolutely. That sounds wonderful, Rudy. Thanks so much for having me.